This is the inner city of Edmonton, Alberta, a place of poverty, neglect, and violence. Hundreds of kids call this home. Many are running from troubled families and survive by stealing, hooking, and selling drugs. But some dream of a better life. This is the story of two such young people. Marilyn Bright Eyes, a 13-year-old prostitute, and Lance Marty, a 14-year-old drug dealer. It is also the story of Joe Cluche, the teacher who is determined to help them. Their journey together will take more than 6 years.
It's just whatever is here. Ha, ha, ha.
This is where it starts, at this recreational drama program, created by Joe and the Inner City Drama Association. Teachers and actors, such as Tantu Cardinal, are invited to lead popular theater workshops and be role models to these troubled kids. The idea is to keep these young people off the streets.
Okay. 3, 4.
The very first teen to join is this girl, Marilyn Bright Eyes.
When I was 13, I got involved with the Inner City Drama Group. I kind of liked it because Joe always brought snacks. And I was often, I don't know, I was hungry and wanted to munch out because, I don't know, we didn't always have food at our place.
In some societies, they called them the traveling minstrels. They'd go from one community to the next.
What brought me to drama group was something to do, I guess, and also getting away from home and getting out of trouble. Like sometimes there'd be a lot of problems at home, so being with Joe was like, it was nice, because he listened to me when I needed to talk, and he believed me.
When I started through university, first of all I was going to do was be a teacher. But as I was going through university, I had some experiences in my practicum that convinced me that I would probably be better working in the community than working in a school, and using drama and popular theater to do that. Just be together and just do the best you can, and that's always great.
Be yourselves.
The idea was that it would be sort of creative expression, and it would build their self-confidence, enhance self-esteem. And I felt, because I also understood the life that the young people were living, understood parts of it at least, and I could relate to some of it, I had a responsibility to work in that area. That's how I felt.
Joe had grown up in inner city Toronto. He understood the problems these kids were having because he had faced many of them himself. The same problems of violence, substance abuse, and prostitution.
I used to be a prostitute, and Joe knew that because I don't know, I guess he used to see me when I used to work on the streets. Like, he used to see me standing on a corner there. I used to be embarrassed, like, I don't know, there's Joe, I hope he didn't see me. He used to give me some money when we ran out of food or something. And my mom kind of took advantage of that, because she's just, call up Joe, ask him to borrow $20. Don't tell him it's for a case of beer, just ask him for $20. And like, I couldn't say no to my mom. Kind of while I was working on the streets, I aimed to please. I was trying to please my mom.
Young people living in such an environment, and often dealing with some of the issues that you have to deal with, the tendency is to close yourself off, to protect yourself from these influences, which will hurt you if you're open.
Yeah.
So drama works the other way because you have to open yourself up to express yourself, and you, in the process, share yourself with the other group members.
I got to another fight.
Why do you put yourself through this all the time?
Well, I can't leave them.
We would tell stories, but we would begin by telling the stories through scene work, through drama. So we would create frozen pictures from events in our lives.
What's your problem nowadays?
Fuck this. I don't have to
What? Something like me.
And you can take that further. We would often say, well, okay, let's see the scene before that, or let's see the scene after that. And just from that process, the young people realized that these situations aren't fixed, and they can be changed just by changing certain events.
Oh, you're back.
So what's the bags for?
No, me and the kids are leaving.
When you coming back?
I don't know. I guess maybe as soon as you do some changes.
When I was in the residential school, a whole bunch of the kids were molested by the, by the priests or by these different people, and they were.
After each rehearsal, a story circle gives Marilyn and the other kids an opportunity to share more personal stories.
Because most of the time I hung around with my mom and her friends, and I used to always have to be around all that drugs, alcohol, violence, rape. I don't know, I guess I needed help. And in a sense I knew that because when my stepdad raped me, we had drama that night, and I was sniffed up and drunk, and my arms were sliced to pieces. And I still went to drama because I felt like it was a safe place. And I remember I was trying to hide it from Joe. He was trying to talk to me, but I didn't want to talk. I just ran. And I went and sat down in a bench in the park, and the group came looking for me. Like the whole group came looking for me, and they found me, and I was sitting there. And they all surrounded me, and like everyone, like they just a big giant hug around me, and I just started bawling my head off.
Okay.
Marilyn's experiences are not unique. Traumatic events like hers push kids onto the streets every day.
I ran away for 5 months, and I've been living on the streets. But I'm back with my parents. But when I was on the streets, it was sort of hard, cause it's real hard finding a place to sleep a lot, and you can't eat nothing. I just sometimes I hope it won't happen to me again.
The drama program offers a refuge, but it lasts only a few precious hours each week. The rest of the time, Marilyn and some of the other kids are still hooking, stealing, and dealing drugs. Joe is determined to do something. He rents a large house in downtown Edmonton. One room becomes an office for co-director Alexina Dalgetti, who gives Joe much-needed help. Other rooms become home for several of the young performers. The Drama Association raises funds to help pay the cost of running the house.
At that time, in the good old days, young people could still access social services. So once they were established, they were able to support themselves and pay rent.
6, 8, 10. You got 10 there. Deal.
When friends of the kids are in trouble or on the streets, the house provides at least temporary shelter.
7. 23.
That's how Lance Marty came to live here, after several nights sleeping in an abandoned car.
My first basic street experience was when I was still living at home with my mom. She was ill, and she had some pills that she needed to be sold in order for us to get money. So she got me to go and sell her dope for her on the street. It was actually right out front there, right by the York. We'd stand out there at like, I don't know, 11:30 till like 4 in the morning, just standing out there. At one time I had a beeper. I was like Mr. Gangster. I had a beeper, and man, I would go to school with like $1,500 in my pocket, and that was just from one night's work. When my brother left home, my mom said, "You have to be the one to break this cycle. You can't be in this life cycle." And I made a deal with her. I said, if you, number one, if you go to jail, again, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna leave home. If you pull a knife on me, I'll leave home. And if you do drugs again, I'll leave home. So she stayed clean for 6 months, and then a couple months later, like about 7 months later, I got a phone call, and it was my mom. She was high, she was in jail, needing me to come and bail her out. So she told me where the money was. I went down there, bailed her out, you know, got her, she brought her home and stuff, and we started arguing, and she pulled a knife on me. So she did all 3 things that I asked her not to do in one night. And I just got fed up with it. And I just said, okay, you know, screw this, I'm gone.
In the early days of the drama programs, we started meeting in a circle, and in the circle we try to introduce values that run contrary to the values that are on the street. So we have trust, respect, cooperation, and non-violence. Just the opposite of what you find on the street.
Lance and Marilyn finally have a place to call home, but now there are other problems. Marilyn is pregnant, but at least she isn't alone. Her boyfriend Cecil McHugh moves in and is soon performing with the rest of the drama group.
Okay guys, it's performance time, let's go. I just want to say one thing. Love you all.
Deep breath.
I played a father who was addicted to cocaine. That was a hard role for me to play, actually, because for a time I was addicted to cocaine, you know, and I had to kick the habit, and then to play that role